Hey there and welcome. My name is Richie and this is Richie's Watchbox, a YouTube channel dedicated to wristwatches and wristwatch reviews. So today I am starting off my channel with a wonderful looking San Martin SN0121G. I recently acquired this watch from Reddit r/Chinese watches. I personally had a great experience buying from the subreddit. I was a little weary, buying from a stranger online. However, with PayPal's as well as Venmo's purchase protection features, it's pretty safe in my opinion to purchase. This is actually the second one I've bought off of Reddit. So more on that later, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about the watch and what I think about it. I don't have a pair of calipers yet. It's on the way from AliExpress. However, I'm on watchdives.com website. I'll go ahead and read out the specifications as well as list them on the screen now. So this watch is 39 millimeters in diameter, and if I'm not mistaken, that's just the bezel itself. The actual case of the watch is 38 millimeters, and you may be able to see here. Bezel itself actually protrudes just a little bit, so you can see the case itself is about a millimeter more shallow in comparison to the bezel. The lug to lug is 47 millimeters, very manageable for most wrist sizes. We have a thickness of about 12.8 millimeters, and the glass itself does not really go up that high. Let me get another close-up shot here. There we go. You can see that glass does not go up like many other watches do. The listed weight of this watch is 152 grams. I'll go ahead and do a weigh-in right now. This is sized for my 7-inch wrist. I believe I had to remove just 2 of the links to get it to fit. So we're sitting at about 144 grams, which is pretty nice. From what I hear, most people consider 150 grams a sweet spot for metal bracelet watches. And this, on the wrist, you don't really notice it that much. It doesn't stick out, which is a great thing. So for the case material, we have the industry standard 316L stainless steel. Very high quality. The finishing on this is excellent. This is actually my second San Martin. I own a San Martin SN004 milsub, which I'll do a future review, and unfortunately it's the bezel on that one is currently broken. I'll talk about that more in another video, but anyways, that watch as well as this one have excellent finishes on the case. We have a brush finish right here, brush finish here as well, polished right there next to the crown. The crown has that San Martin hex logo, which I personally love. Same with the dial, the applied logo. We even have some polishing here at the corners, or rather the edges of the case, which is a nice little accent. The crystal on this watch is an AR coated sapphire crystal. I believe that this does have the blue AR coating. It's probably a little harder to tell since the watch dial itself is blue, but a lot of San Martin watches use that blue coating. The crown action is very nice. Unscrewed very smoothly. Let's see if you can hear that. I'll bring it closer. It's got a nice smooth and satisfying turn to it. If we pull it out one, we can go ahead and adjust the date. Date cycles very nicely. Pull out one more time. And now we can adjust the time. Of course, we had the Seiko NH35 movement inside, which supports the hacking. And it's now become one of my favorite movements, especially when it comes to AliExpress watches. It's very common too. Now let's talk about the bezel. The bezel is a 120 click rotating bezel. and hopefully that comes through well on camera, but it is very crisp, very satisfying. This is actually probably the easiest rotatable bezel that I have in my collection currently. Even compared to my San Martin SN004, this one is really easy to turn. The actual coin edge finishing right here is very nice to touch. I guess you can argue that it's probably less grippy compared to other bezels, but this is nice, very easy in the hands. And thankfully I have one that lines up perfectly with the 12 o'clock. That's one of the benefits to buying from Reddit, is that you can actually see the exact watch that you are going to get. And the fact that this one has a perfectly aligned bezel, that's a great thing for me. I'm really picky and somewhat OCD when it comes to that. And luckily San Martin has very good quality control, so that's less of an issue in comparison to a lot of other AliExpress brands. Now let's get a close-up shot on that dial. Now, as many of you already are aware, this is a homage watch to the Tudor Pelagos, and this one is very nice. I went for the date version. I personally like watches that have a date complication, and I know a lot of people don't like it because it's asymmetrical, especially when you have it in the dark with a Lume shot. I'm considering buying a Lume date wheel, which I think are really cool. We'll see. I need to open up the wristwatch. I've never done a modification like that before. Anyways though, I love the chapter ring as well, how it matches. It's ever so slightly a different color of blue, but it's not something that you notice. And the indices are really well done. There's another like track ring on the inside where it has cutouts for those square indices, and they did a really good job, really precise, and everything lines up really well, which I'm really happy about. We have the snowflake hands as well as the little square / diamond second hand. I like it. I actually wasn't much of a fan of this when I was looking at pictures and stuff online originally, but it's since grown on me. I really like that white, all white and blue design. So now let's talk about the bracelet. We have a very nicely finished brushed stainless steel bracelet. We have the screw, the flathead screw links, or the screws rather. Hopefully you can see that. I personally had to remove 2 to fit it on my 7-inch wrist. And sorry guys if my focus is a little wonky. Still getting used to filming. We have fully milled clasp. And the brand new San Martin on the fly adjustable clasp. I forgot what it's actually called, but basically you press down this little thing. Let's get that in focus. Press down that little push button, pull it out, and it stays in place. That's a fully extended position. If you push it in, it clicks into place with 5 total micro adjustments, and it really doesn't have much play at all. It's very nice, very convenient in comparison to having to bring out the little tool every time to do any micro adjustments. This is nice, especially when you consider that your wrists do swell up a little bit, so it gives you a little more flexibility and comfort overall. So now let's go take a look at the Lume. Next to the San Martin, I have my brand new Steel Dive 1970, which is by far the watch with the best Lume in my collection. It's very impressive, especially for the $80 that I spent on it. Let's see how the San Martin holds up in comparison. So as you can see, both watches are holding up pretty nicely. I'm giving the edge to the Steel Dive on this one. However, the San Martin is definitely nothing to complain about. The San Martin uses the BGW9, and I believe that's what the Steel Dive uses in the bezel, but we have C3 inside the Steel Dive indices and watch hands as well. I really dig the Lume bezel. It's something I wish I had on more of my watches, to be honest. Now that I've been able to experience it, I am the type of watch guy who really appreciates good Lume. That's a big part of the enjoyment of a wristwatch for me. So props to San Martin for using great Lume. So this is how the watch looks on my 7-inch wrist. Really digging that 39mm size. It's typically what I go for, around the 38-39 range. But even if you have a larger wrist, this will definitely suit you as well. So if you guys stuck around to the end, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. This is my first ever watch review, and I intend to make more. I currently own about 10 watches. Not all of them are from AliExpress either, so you can expect some G-Shock reviews, Seiko, other brands. If you found this video at all entertaining or helpful, please consider leaving a like. And if you want to see more watch reviews, then consider subscribing as well. I definitely will make some more in the future. Thank you so much for watching.